We're often told that natural gas is better to cook with, better to warm our houses with, and better to warm water with. It's definitely better to cook porridge with. But New South Wales doesn't have vast deposits of conventional gas we can rely on. Instead, most of our gas comes from other states. And these states are beginning to export their gas, which could mean higher prices and gas shortages for New South Wales. What this state does have is natural gas from coal seams. This is partly coal seam gas. AGL's been around for a long time. We're an Australian company and we've been operating alongside businesses and communities for over 175 years. Here at Camden, we have 144 wells producing 5% of New South Wales gas needs. But we don't own any of the land our wells are on. Instead, we have access agreements with farmers, families, property developers, business owners, and even some horse studs.
My family have been farming in the Cordua Valley for over 100 years. I was approached by the gas company in regards to having wells on the property. I had experience with water wells. That was my previous trade as an agricultural serviceman. When I saw what they did to ensure well integrity, I was blown away. It was incredible. It was 100 times more than I expected. This is what a coal seam gas well looks like. This well's been producing gas for New South Wales for over a decade. The water produced is collected in the water tank and delivered to a recycling facility. The gas is delivered to our gas plant through a series of underground low-pressure pipelines. We also collect data from this well and our other Camden wells, which is sent to our gas plant through telemetry, where our team monitors the wells constantly. We understand that protecting water resources is a top priority for the community. That's why AGL has invested in one of the most comprehensive water monitoring programs in New South Wales.
At Camden, we come out here every 3 months, so quarterly. We take measurements of how deep the water is, which tells us a little bit about how the different aquifers interact with each other. But we also collect water samples out of the bore, so that tells us about the chemistry in the water. We've installed this system here which takes the data from inside the monitoring bore and sends it on a 3G signal to the server in Sydney, so anyone can log in and have a look at this data each day. The biggest myth is that we're taking out heaps of volume of groundwater from underground. It's definitely not the case here in New South Wales. It's a really small volume compared to what you might get in other parts of the world.
The Menangle Paceway is Sydney's premier pacing venue. And we've had wells on the site since the year 2000.
There's 7 wells here and there's no interruption to anything that happens on the property. There's horses working behind me that aren't distracted by the wells, and people come onto the property, they don't even know they're here, they're invisible. And we'll continue on with the relationship whilst there's gas to be taken out of the ground.
Here in the Hunter Valley, we're still exploring for coal seam gas. We don't have any operating wells in this region yet, but we know there's a lot of gas, because there's a lot of coal. We're carrying out our exploration activities alongside our award-winning vineyards and our farm.
So AGL purchased this property to do coal seam gas exploration in this part of the valley. So they've developed an agriculture sector inside their business. First time it's ever been done in AGL. We're developing a beef herd. We have approximately 100 acres of white wine grapes, producing award-winning wines and proving coal seam gas and agriculture can coexist side by side.
Within New South Wales, there are around 19,000 petajoules of a resource, and that's an estimation by the New South Wales Government. So AGL is looking to projects like Gloucester that can deliver significant additional supplies of gas for New South Wales.
Stage 1 of the Gloucester Gas Project will include 110 wells, a central processing facility and a gas transmission pipeline. AGL's Gloucester Gas Project has the potential to supply 15% of our state's gas needs by 2017. That's over 1 million homes.
Gloucester is a great town. Our only problem is that over the years, most of the kids have got to leave town to get jobs. I'm hoping that with AGL being here, taking the gas out of the place, that'll open up traineeships for some of our kids.
If AGL make the gas available to the businesses in Gloucester, I think it's going to be a bonus.
Talking to AGL, I know they're very, very pro-local They'll employ locally wherever they possibly can. They'll use local produce wherever they possibly can and local services. It's only a positive in growth, both economically and for the community.
I can tell you now that if the gas hadn't come, this place would be a retirement village.
You take the extractive industries out of Gloucester and Gloucester will be a ghost town.
So we need these industries to sort of help keep the place viable.
Natural coal seam gas projects in New South Wales are heavily regulated, monitored and adhere to the most robust operating standards.
I could not go to other landowners and suggest to them to have wells on their properties without first experiencing it on my own property and knowing that it has no adverse effects.
Our coal seams are around 700 metres under the ground, and what we're doing down there by taking the gas out and a small amount of water has had no impact on that shallow or surface water environment.
How can we not have coal seam gas? It's what the public needs to survive.
Now, if we can contribute to the whole of the state through the gas that's locked in the ground down here, I cannot see a problem with it.
New South Wales has a world-class regulatory framework within which we operate, and that's a very important thing to give the community the confidence that we can produce that gas safely and sustainably.
Natural coal seam gas projects are an ideal way to minimise our reliance on gas from other states and can comfortably and safely coexist with other land uses. It's what we've been doing for many years and what we'll continue to do in the future.